Do you plan to raise the level of technology or student services? And if so, how do you plan on paying for it?
First off, yes, I do plan on raising the level of technology and student services. Right now, a lot of our services that we have is going obsolete, or at least obsolete in the idea of, let's face it, when something gets about 5 years old and more or less is obsolete in this new technology age, look at DVDs, and now they're transitioning into Blu-rays. The way I plan on paying for it is by talking to the Board of Regents, talking to the administration, talking to the state legislators, and explaining to them that this is an essential part of our education. Right now, the students here on campus students here on campus are paying a larger proportion to make up their public education than they were 20 years ago or 15 years ago. So I would hope that I'd want to stress to our legislators, our representatives, the need for technology in an education. Because our students are not only going to need to know how to use the programs, but they're also going to need to recognize the awesome benefits of using those such programs. Thank you.
Same question. Yes, I do think that technology services do need to be improved. That may mean, well, higher differential tuition, which we're going through that process now. It may mean higher seg fees. Ultimately, it does need to be scrutinized, however, because there are multiple funding sources for this, and so we need to be sure where this money is coming from and how it's being used. Also, staffing is an issue. I think that's, right now, I think that's the main issue, more so than just the technology itself. We need more staff because they're retiring and they're not being replaced. So, yes, technology does need to be improved on campus. The question is how we go about that. It's a bit more nuanced than I think some people think it is.
Thank you. Our next question will return to the vice presidential candidates, starting with Tara Lowe. Tara, the vice president chairs the Student Government Association Academic Affairs Council. What types of academic issues will you bring before this body? Examples from this year include the student-to-student complaint process and the grade appeals policy.
I feel like one of the greatest boundaries in our academic achievements at this school are the fact that students don't really understand the services that they have open to them at this university. There are many organizations that go unused because students don't understand that it's there and available to them. I mean, faculty go so unused. They have office hours that they sit in their offices and never see a student. One of my main goals is to try and bridge that gap between faculty and students. So that way students understand that they have these things available to them, that they can increase their academic achievement by talking more with their professors, establishing more of a relationship with their professors that is more conducive to the increase in their grades and understanding what the material is that's put before them. Also being able to find better ways to get study groups, like I was saying with the RSC. There is a huge need for this. So I guess basically it's just awareness, making sure that students know what is available to them and how they can get to it. Thanks.
Okay, I'll be very direct on this one. My primary concern regarding academic affairs has to do with, first of all, making sure that students on cross-campus committees get full voting rights and notice of their position, what they serve, what they do on those committees, and that they get a say in things such as on the credits committee, where they haven't had a say. Over the past few years, I've been sitting on this committee, and I've been very interested in the politics as to why students do not have voting rights on this particular committee. This has been an issue that has been talked about, scrutinized, and shot down several times. There's actually been some progress on this particular issue, and I'm very interested to see that students maintain their rights to shared governance on campus according to 36.095, and that we open up the doors and make sure that students have that right to say something in a place where they haven't before. Sometimes we tend to cross a few boundaries, places where faculty have had state statute rights and where students haven't been before. Students need to go to those places. Students need to have an opportunity to look into that. That would be one of my first issues, would be to have the committee look at the sustainability and viability of making sure students have access to expanded rights on shared governance. Thank you.
Our next question redirects to the presidents. Logan Kappa, if you could please step to the podium. As president, would you approve of increases in student segregated fees? If so, under what conditions?
As much as it pains me, and I'm sure pains the students here to hear this, yes, I would increase segregated fees. After very strict and careful scrutiny of those fee increases. I will not just sit there and look at it and go, oh, it looks good on paper, or oh, the proposal sounds good, and sign off on it. I will want to know exactly what every single cent and dollar our student fees are going for, and exactly if it is a necessity. If it is just some university professor's pet project or university administration's idea for something, then I would say no, the university should pay for it, not the students. So that's my belief on it, is although I do not want to raise segregated fees, because that's just another fee that students will have to pay, obviously. If it meets my credentials of after it passes strict scrutiny and it's been carefully examined and after those processes, it looks like a good idea and it looks like it's a needed issue or a needed format for the students, then I would agree with it. Thank you.
Travis Erickson, the same question.
First of all, seg fees have to go up based on inflation every year, and so they're